Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a great week. Interesting moves in the market over the past week, and we're still expecting the market to trend throughout the festive rally. Let's see if we can take advantage of that and by looking at some interesting trade setups ahead. All right, before we get started, guys, check out our brand spanking new website. You'll check it out there. You will find the link also under the description of all our video. Okay, we are now running onto the new website, trading-waves.com. That is our brand new website. Also follow us on our social media pages. We post a lot of charts and updates about all the services that we do in our company, so you can check that out. You just open any of the charts here, go to the description of all the videos, you'll find it there. Right, so just go there, you'll find the social media page, that is the Twitter page, the Facebook page, as well as our link to the new website. Now, talking about the description of the video, guys, we are running for the last time. This last week, we're running a 50% discount special for a limited number of people in the next 3 days. So this is not advertised on the website. You will not see it on the website. So just make an inquiry about that here. We will put a discount code under the description of the video. So just use that discount code when you make an inquiry. It is very limited. So by the time you make an inquiry, if you take too long, you may not be able to benefit from that. It's only applicable to our lifetime plan. Okay, so only to the lifetime plan for the next 3 days. Use the discount code under the description of this video. Right, so let's get started with the analysis for this week. We're going to go in sequence. We're going to go through the US dollar pairs, the euros, the pound pairs, and then for the crypto webinar, check the next video. It's going to be done immediately after this. But if you're watching if you're just watching the video, you can just check it on the channel. Right, very interesting developments in the crypto markets as well. We've seen the market flash, but what does that all mean? It's actually making very interesting structures, so you can check that out on the crypto webinar or the crypto video on the channel, on our channel, right? So let's get started. What are we expecting with the euro and the DXY? Let's have a look at the DXY. So the DXY, the structure that we're expecting, maybe before we even go to the live chat, let's have a look at what we have on the site. So you can also get an understanding of what it is that we do on the side and what you can benefit from it as well. So looking at that, we're looking for the instruments and we want to look at the US dollar pairs. Let's have a look at that. Right, so we want to see euro US dollar, and I want to show you a number of time frames here because the structure on euro US dollar has changed quite a bit. So let's have a look at the weekly chart here on the euro to see what we're expecting. So if you look at the weekly chart on the euro, so for now on the euro, we're expecting this to make a move to the downside here. So we are anticipating, or we're looking at these to have completed the 3 waves here with a regular flat here, and for this to make a continuation move to the downside. Obviously, that does not happen in a straight line. You'll see that there'll be more detail as we go down into the lower time frame. So with the lower time frame here on the daily, we are looking at these 3. I'm going to show you with the right color of the degree. The right color here of the degree is the ABC corrective structure that you're seeing there. So we're looking at that to have made a flat correction, and this to make a continuation move to the downside. This is the detail that we've got here. So we are looking at this to have started in the yellow degree, 5 waves to the downside, 1, 2, and we're currently in the 3rd wave. Right, as you can see, the daily chart is making a move to the downside, but the lower degree chart is giving us a pullback. We're expecting a pullback here, but that is just a continuation pattern for that wave 3. So let's have a look at the 4-hour as well. Now, with the 4-hour, you will see that we are currently in that green pullback. We are currently in this green pullback, and this is what you will see on the 1-hour. That is the current structure that we're in, and we want to show we want to see how this is going to play out for a continuation move to the downside. So let's watch this one here as we go to the live chart here now. But let me go to the 1-hour chart first so I can go through all the time frames. Now we've got 2 updates every single day on the 1-hour chart. So before the London session opens, we've got a chart update, and during New York session, we've got 1-hour market open. So our updates during market open. So that is the one from the latest one from Friday afternoon. It is afternoon on my side. That is the New York session. So the latest chart here we've got, that is that green 3-wave pullback that we were talking about here. So let's have a look. We're going to have a look at it on the live chat shortly. So during London, that is Friday morning, this is what we had. We still had that. As you can see, nothing has really played out since. We're still anticipating this to consolidate and make a move to the upside here. All we are anticipating here is a pullback and continuation to the downside. That is a move to the upside on the 1 hour, but look at the daily. The daily is showing us a bearish move. So that is only a pullback. Let's have a look here on the euro. I'm actually looking at the euro there. So let's have a look at the euro. This is the structure that we're looking at on the euro. Let's have a look. It's actually a very interesting structure. There's 3 waves to the upside. We've got a pullback here. That pullback has happened in a flash. So we're anticipating that is actually a 3-wave move, but you won't be able to count the 3 waves there because that happened with a flash candle. Now, that will give us a possible structure like that. That will be in 3 waves. And internally here, you can see this is clear 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3 that you won't be able to count. And we're anticipating this to make another 1, 2, 3 here. That will be a nice WXY corrective structure. So you'll see here every week that when I come here and I just draw a corrective structure, that is not all the analysis. You're looking at the front end of a very detailed analysis from historical data all the way down to a point where we say we've got a trade set up. So that is what we're looking at. We're looking for this last move here to push to the upside and then this to continue to the upside. We may possibly retest the 45 area, 1.45 area on the euro and continuation to the downside. Right, so that's what we have on the euro. Anticipate this to push up higher like that and then continue to the downside. The structure on the DXY is exactly the same as what we have on the euro. So we would be anticipating, I'm not going to go through it in detail as I did with the euro, but it is simply an inverse of what we're expecting of the euro. We've got 3 waves down here, we've got 3 waves up, so we're expecting 3 waves to the downside. So you can see this is a pullback to the downside for a continuation to the upside. So that's what we have here. Again, just like the euro, you've got 1, 2, 3 here. The 3 waves that you won't be able to count because of that flash candle that happened there. We've got 1, 2, 3. That is the expectation. We're anticipating this 1, 2, then these 3 to complete the structure. Again, like the euro, would have a WXY corrective structure that will complete this structure and we look for upside. So we'll wait for this to confirm, the indicator to confirm that we are ready for a continuation to the upside. That is the euro and the DXY. Now, the pound US dollar, we are pretty bearish on the pairs that have got the US dollar as the quoted pair. We are anticipating that pound will give us a pullback, not at current levels. Even if we do get this, it will not be a great selling opportunity on pound. We want a deeper pullback because pound, just like pound yen, you'll see when we get to pound yen, may be ready for a couple of hundreds of pips to the downside as I've indicated with this structure previously. You'll see that it has made a flat correction here, the same way that the euro has made that flat correction that we've indicated. That is a flat there. Now, this could be a move for many pips to the downside. Now, what is interesting is that you may know the direction of the market, but the timing is what beats most of the traders. How do you time the market? You know this could drop for a couple of hundreds of pips. So when do you execute? This is where the problem lies, and that is where it is critical to have a strategy. It is critical to have an indicator that is integrated to the Elliott wave theory to indicate that. So we'll be anticipating something like this here for a continuation to the downside. Let's just have a look here on the chart here on the website. Let's just have a look here on pound US dollar, just to have a look at the structure and what we're anticipating. We're anticipating a pullback that has not happened as yet. Let's have a look at the 1 hour chart here, the latest New York chart. So this will still push to the downside. As you can see, we'll still push to the downside before we get a pullback. The pullback is not going to happen, and now as yet, we're still going to see more downside before we get that pullback. As you can see, we are still pretty much bearish on pound US dollar. Okay, but essentially, what we'll be looking for on the higher time frame here, and this is the daily, we'll be looking for a deeper daily structure here that will then enable us to ride this trend to the downside. And we won't take it all in one trade. We will take it one wave at a time. So currently, that is the expectation on pound US dollar. US dollar CAD, I'm on the daily chart already, so you can already see the structure that I'm looking at here easily. This is the structure that we're looking at. We've seen this structure play out from last week already. We are currently in this move to the upside. We've already got the 3 waves here on the structure. That's 3. Let me show that in yellow. I think it's more visible 1, 2, 3 there, 1, 2, 3 pullback. We expect that we're going to have another pullback. We may break to the upside first and get a pullback before we push to the upside. That will be a nice WXY corrective structure. Alternatively, we could be on our way for a move here in 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But all that does not matter. For now, what matters is the direction is to the upside. When we get to this level, if we see that it's extended, then we know that that will be a wave 3, and we'll start looking for that to be an impulsive move to the upside. But for now, any continuation pattern, any trade setup here, you take it on USDCAD. Let's have a look here in the lower time frame, in the 4 hour. So the 4 hour is setting up for a continuation to the upside, pretty much bullish. As you can see, all indications are for more upside here as far as USDCAD is concerned. You've got 1, 2, 3. There was a running flat that we've got there. That is a candle to the upside. If you see a consolidation on the 1 hour, that is still going to be a continuation to the upside. What is interesting here is USDCHF. USDCHF, regardless of the strength that you're seeing on the US dollar, it is making a push to the downside. So that is not because of the dollar weakness. It is because of the CHF strength. You've seen CHF strength across all the pairs. You will see as we go on with other CHF pairs. Just make a note when we look at CHF pairs, you will see that all the pairs that have got the CHF as the quoted currency are bearish. Now, even the structure here on USDCHF, regardless of the strength in the dollar, is this. We've seen this structure from couple of weeks back. We've been looking at this structure, looking at this to mean a 1, 2, 3 waves, and then this one to make a move to the downside. So you see, it is very important to not just approach everything with a blanket approach. Just because the US dollar is showing strength does not mean that wherever you see the US dollar, you're going to see strength. Remember, this is simply a ratio. This is the comparison of the US dollar's strength with the CHF strength. Now, at this, in this ratio, that is the US dollar CHF ratio, what we're looking for here is, what you're seeing here is that the CHF over the last week has been outperforming the US dollar. Okay, the CHF has been outperforming the US dollar. So whenever you see a bearish move, it means the CHF is strong and it's outperforming the US dollar for this specific ratio. Now we're currently consolidating here. We're expecting this to continue to the downside. Okay, so that's what we have there on the CHF. Expect it to still be bullish. Now, AUD US dollar, I have to look at this on the daily. Let me show you the daily first so you can remember what we're looking at here. There's something pretty interesting here that I am noticing on AUD US dollar. So let's just do a bit of education here for those that have learned the theory. Let me just give you a free hint here. Now, this is AUD US dollar. We've made a passing move. We look like we're correcting to the downside. Now, if you look at this, anybody who has attempted to learn the Elliott wave theory, who has learned the wave theory, even if you've only just learned the basic, you will know that your wave 4, if we're looking at this to be a wave 4, let's say 1, 2, 3, according to the rules, you cannot have a wave 4 coming into the territory of a wave 1 for an impulse, okay? But for a diagonal, you must have a wave 4 within the territory of a wave 1. That's still just some of the rules, basic rules. Now, this, as you can see, cannot be an impulse, so that means that move is already invalidated. What is likely to happen here is that you may be having what we call a leading expanding diagonal, which is a pretty rare pattern, but that's what we have there. We've got an expanding leading diagonal still with 5 waves, with a wave 4 within the territory of wave 2, as it is complying according to the guidelines. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going for the wave 5 there. The likely thing to happen here is that after the wave 5, we can then have a pullback. Whether this is going to be deep, then that will be the start either of a move to the downside, whether this is a whole corrective structure. So we'll look for this one to give us another 5-wave motive waves here. Whether it's a diagonal or an impulse, that will not matter. So that is the structure here. We're anticipating a pullback, but for now, still bearish. As you will see with our charts, we are still bearish, and that is because of that on the daily. Let me go down to the lower time frame here now. You'll see that we are still bearish on AUD US dollar, whether it's on the 4 or the 1 hour. No change there. Okay. Just a single impulse move to the downside. Now, New Zealand, similar structure to AUD US dollar, but New Zealand is actually a corrective structure. Let's have a look at this one here. So New Zealand has made a simple 3 waves to the downside, simple three-wave pullback. It is making a move to the downside. Just like the US dollar, we are going to anticipate a push to the downside, a pullback, and a continuation to the downside, similar to what we have here in the lower degree, 3 waves down here, 3 waves up here. We're actually playing that corrective structure. We'll be looking for this to be making a corrective structure. At around this level here, we should see a reaction higher on New Zealand. For now, we are still bearish. Right, let's go to US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR on the lower degree here. We are still anticipating that this will show more strength. Let's have a look here to the upside. So that means the US dollar, rather the South African rand, is still going to show weakness against this the US dollar. Let's have a look here. So with what we're seeing here is that we've got a 3 waves down here. Let me show it with yellow. I don't know why I keep using red. 1, 2, 3, 3-wave pullback. 1, 2, 3 is a possibility and continuation to the upside. Either way, this is a continuation to the upside, and US dollar against the South African rand is still showing strength, and whatever is happening is only a pullback. So there's also a possibility that that corrective structure is all there is, and we're going to resume upside there. Okay, so just watch out for that, whichever one confirms first. Right, let's have a look at pound yen. I already spoke about pound yen, comparing it to pound US dollar in the bigger degree. Just have show you a quick structure here. I think most of you are tired of seeing this structure, and the reason why there's potential for a couple of 100 pips to the downside on pound yen is because of this big flat correction, which we call an expanding flat. So that is that. 1, 2, 3. Now, two things will happen here. Before we confirm that move to the downside, we need to confirm that whatever is happening here is not an expanding flat. That will give us one more up and then continuation to the downside. So question is, are we ready for a drop from current levels, or we're going to make one more up? So that we're going to see first here by reaction when we get to around this level. Okay, so we'll see after making the expanding flat. If we see that we're getting a 3-way pullback and a trade setup and a confirmation by the indicator, then we'll look to sell it there. Otherwise, we will get one more up. Even that one up still, then it will still be bearish. We'll look to sell it to the downside. That is how we're looking at pound yen. Right, 4 hour. Nothing to look out and to look for here on the 4 hour. We are simply looking for this to get back to this level, because we're looking at this as 3 down, 3 up, and 3 down. What we have here, we've got the 1, 2, 3. We actually have a running flat here. It's a running flat. It's a clear 3-way structure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, as you can see there, and a 3 with an expanded one here. So we're looking for this one to be another 1, 2, 3, either 3 or 4 or 5 here. So even whichever one it is, we'll know what the implication will be on the structure. So as it is here, we'll be looking at this one to be an A, B, C corrective structure and look for a reaction around this level. If this structure is invalidated, this is going to push through. We're going to see a pullback and we're going to sell. Right, so that's pound yen, US dollar yen. US dollar yen, let's have a look here in the structure again on the website here. Let's have a look at the US dollar yen so you can see the bigger view. Let's have a look at US dollar yen. Let's have a look at the weekly first. US dollar yen, you remember, just have a look at this chart. This was the chart from 2 months back, the second week of October on the weekly chart. I'm going to open it so we can expand it so you can see the power of these charts. So this was at around 111, 112, where we were forecasting that US dollar yen will push to the upside to around this level and make a reversal. We are still anticipating that this is the structure that will play out on US dollar yen. So watch out as I go down to the daily, you'll see the more detail of where there was going to make a reversal there. So we've already we're playing out this corrective structure. We're currently in this leg. Now the question is whether this leg is complete or are we ready for a downside. Now let's go back to the chart here on the daily when I want to see the daily. So this is a great tool to have all your charts here all in one place. So now if you look at this here, this is on the daily where we're anticipating from around 111. We're anticipating that US dollar yen will continue to push to the upside. Currently, we've got to about 115. and that is about 500 pips. Remember, this is a daily chart. That small move here is over 500 pips. If you remember, during one of our previous webinars, we showed the trade setups for that and how we traded that. Now on the 4 hour, this is the latest chart now here. What you're seeing here is the forecast from the 29th of November, so pretty much recent, just over a week. We've been looking for this to continue here with a corrective structure here. And if you go now to the live chart, you'll see that this is what is currently happening, and we're looking for this to continue lower. Whether this is going to reverse from current levels or we're still going to see more upside, we'll make a decision when we get to this level. So where we are, as I've just indicated, is here. It is that corrective structure that I've just indicated there. That is the anticipated corrective structure. Is this all? Are we still going to get that or continue to the downside? That is where we are with the US dollar yen. Euro yen. Now, euro yen, let's have a look here. Similar structure as pound yen. I'm going to go to the daily here so we can see the full structure clearly. So euro yen is similar structure to pound yen, where we're looking at this one to be 1, 2, 3 here. We're currently around this level. Let's see what happens with euro yen here. If euro yen invalidates the structure, we continue here, we pull back. That means we're not going to see one more up. This flat correction is not going to play out, and this is ready for a downside. We're not going to get one more up and a downside. That decision we cannot make before we get confirmation around this level. So we're watching that area very clearly because that is a critical level. Right, so that is euro yen. CHF yen, very likely to push to the downside. Now, CHF yen, it will not be surprising to see CHF yen just drop from current levels, and we see a couple of 100 pips to the downside. The reason for that is CHF is currently at the extreme of its structure, which is this. This is the structure on CHF yen. Let's have a look at that on the daily. You've got this one here as 5 waves back, 3 waves back, and 5 waves to the upside. Now, CHF yen, we actually anticipate that from current levels, we can start seeing downside. Now we wait for confirmation. All we have here now is just a single leg to the downside. So we're going to be waiting for confirmation around this level with a trade set up for this to come around this level. That's a couple of 100 pips from 22 to about 114. That's over 800 pips that we're anticipating on CHF or more. Okay. So that is what we've got on CHF yen. AUD yen, the rest of the yen pairs, you'll see that they all have similar structure. This similar corrective structure, which we're going to decide when we get to this level. That is a structural level. It is not a support or resistance level. It is a structural level where we decide, is the structure playing out, or it is a different structure that we're going to be looking at. So all of them, we're just waiting for these structures. We'll decide when these structures have completed. New Zealand, you see same structure, same. New Zealand, even an expanding one, 3 down, 3 up. We're coming down with an impulse. So again, we look for this one to around this level. Currently, just a single impulse to the downside, nothing to look out to take home for here as far as the trade is concerned. If you needed a trade, you would have gotten it up there. At this stage, it's just a single impulse to the downside. You don't have a trading opportunity there. We'll wait for one to present itself before we trade. CAD yen, I'm just showing you that all the yen pairs have got these exact same corrective structure here. Now, what is likely to happen here, this may not be the corrective structure. If you look at CAD yen, it looks like we've got 5 waves here. So we could have completed the 5 waves and we're ready to start the bigger corrective structure here with wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would have completed the 5, and we're starting a corrective structure. So let's see how this goes. So we can only make that decision at this critical level. Now, these pullbacks have been indicating on the rest of the structures. That is what will determine that are we in a corrective structure for the whole move, or we are ready for a bounce to the upside. So let's have a look at that as it plays out. Gold, I'm on the daily still. So on the daily gold, you've seen this structure, 3 down, 3 up. We're anticipating again another 3 down here on gold. So any pullback here on gold, look for an opportunity to take it to the downside as we had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 here. And if I go in a bit more detailed, you'll see we've got a pulsing move there. There's a possibility for a pulsing move there. We already started with this one here, and we could have gold giving us this whole structure. But either way, we're not too concerned about that white and the purple degree. We are concerned about the next immediate move, because that is the only move that the indicator can confirm from here. So let's go down there into that corrective structure and see if it's giving us an opportunity to sell it lower. So we still don't really have a setup there. So we'll anticipate that we get a 4-hour setup at least, which we're going to sell to the downside. That is gold. So as you can see, gold is bearish. Silver is also bearish. Now we'll be anticipating that silver also give us a pullback here in 3, but for a continuation to the downside. Still bearish. Platinum the same, we're just waiting for a pullback and continuation to the downside. So we'll be waiting for platinum to possibly drop around this level, make a pullback and continue lower. This is what we can look out for to ride the trend. We can have a blue box trade set up there on platinum, and then we can ride the trend lower. Right, Brent crude oil. I want to show you the higher degree structure so you can understand why we've got such a deep pullback or a very deep flash to the downside on Brent crude. I think I have shown this chart before. It's a beautiful chart actually. Just looking at this leg here, you'll see that we've got a running flat there as wave 4. This is wave 1, 2. Wave 4 is a running flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we are starting a deeper correction. So I'm just assuming a zigzag here. It does not have to be a zigzag. It can be any of the 5 corrective structures. So let's see which one plays out here. So we'll be anticipating oil to pull back to as low as around this level. So let's see how that plays. Right, so that is oil. Let's have a look at the pound pairs. So pound pair structure is changing slightly. I've shown this structure last week as well, and it's still playing out. 1, 2. There's a possibility for this to continue all the way here and give us this as a corrective structure here. This is a pullback in 3. This is a wave 1, 2. Not there's a 3-wave move to the upside. We anticipate there's a possibility for this to make another 3 waves before the drop. So that would be a nice WXY corrective structure on the purple degree here before the drop. So let's see, you're watching that. So in the lower degree, you will see that we've got just confirmation for continuation to the upside. So we're not getting any signs of reversal as yet here. So continuation to the upside. Any pullback on the 1 hour, this is still going to continue to the upside into the new week as well. Pound New Zealand, similar structure. We saw this expanding flats last week for continuation to the upside. It is continuing to the upside. We still expect that to continue to the upside. The bigger structure on pound New Zealand is this one here. I want us to see why we're focusing more upside here on pound New Zealand. It's simply this 3-wave structure that we're looking at. We've got 3 waves to the upside, 3 waves to the downside, and we're anticipating this to be another 3 waves to the upside. So this is all the correction here. We'll look for this one to at least get back to this level. Right, that is pound New Zealand, pound CAD. So pound CAD, just to show the structure, we have anticipated that structure for some time now. Let's go to pound CAD. The pullback that you're seeing on pound CAD, we anticipated that a couple of weeks back. Let me see if we still have that one on the daily or if it has been updated. But if you've been watching these videos, you'll remember that we had that anticipation of a pullback on pound CAD a couple of weeks back. So that's already updated. This move here that is currently playing out on pound CAD, we anticipated a couple of weeks back before it even started. Now we're looking for it to complete here and continue to the downside. Let's go look at it here. So we're currently building up that move. I'm on the daily. I'm going to go to the lower time frame to see whether that is complete or not. Let's have a look at it on the 4-hour. Now on the 4-hour, we've got 3 waves to the upside, we've got 3 waves back. Looks like we are still going to have one more to the upside here. We've got lower degree here, 1, 2, 3, lower degree here, 1, 2, 3, lower degree here. Possibilities for this to complete here with one leg up higher for a WXY corrective structure, where we'll anticipate a possible blue box here for more downside. Okay, so pound chief. Pound chief, I just have to show you this one here. So pound chief, we've just been selling pound chief for a while here, including EUROCHF. Let's have a look at both. So this was last week when we showed you how we traded the euro from right at the top here to where the euro is together with the chief. So remember this. We anticipated that this was going to push to around this level and a big drop here on EUROCHF. I'm showing you EUROCHF because it's similar to pound chief. I'm going to show you pound chief as well. So that was EUROCHF last week and how that played out. Remember, this was the forecast. The upside here we got and that big move that we're in here now on the euro. Now, pound CHF, just to show you only the move from last week. Last week, we anticipated this whole pullback and a continuation to the down. So now all of these moves have played out. Let's have a look here on the latest pound CHF chart. Look at that just for last week alone. So last week we anticipated just that corrective structure, and all of those moves, 5 of them have played out because we are clear about the correction. So we've got that A, B, C pullback on pound CHF. I'm going to go to the chart here. Let's have a look here if you can see that the pound CHF here as well. So while we're looking at that, that is a AB corrective structure in purple. So just wanted you to see that that is the AB structure in purple. Let's go for our this AB structure here in purple. You see that was the anticipation all along, this one here, for this to give us a pullback in AB purple and a continuation to the downside. Now all of those moves have played out, as you can see here. The anticipation was that pullback here, that is the chart before again. That 3 waves here is now played out, and we now have this latest chart here after that move has played out. The A, B, C in purple, and from 225 to now, where we are around 1.21, that's over 400 pips drop. 1, 2, 3, 4 moves forecasted on pound CHF. That's what happens when you've got a clear direction or clear trend in the market. If you remember, we started selling our moves from here. Here we got a blue box setup. Here, just last week, we got a 3-wave pullback, and now another free 500 pips here in just a matter of a couple of days. And that is how that is played out. That is the purple B degree is playing out. Now we're looking for this to continue lower. Right, so those are all the pound pairs. Let's go to the euro pairs. Euro pound, you saw some bearish moves on the pound pairs. So it's no wonder that euro pound is continuing to push to the upside. This has just confirmed a trade setup for upside here. So you can look for this one to push to the upside in the next coming weeks. So just look at the daily chart as well. The reason why we're anticipating that is we are looking at this bigger corrective structure to play out. That's a move up, 3 down. We're looking for this to at least come above around this level to make an expanding or a running flat, after which we'll expect continuation to the downside. Right, so that is euro pound. Euro AUD will be bullish as well, just like a pound AUD. So possibility of this structure 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 to the upside. We already have 3 waves here. We already have the 3 waves here, 1, 2, 3. We already have the 3 waves there, so we're anticipating this 1, 2, 3 as well. So if you see a pullback on euro AUD or pound AUD, it is not a reversal, will just be a pullback for continuation to the upside. Euro New Zealand, same. So Euro New Zealand, we anticipate that it will come and retest that level to have given us 3 up, 3 down, expanding flat or a running flat. That's where we're anticipating Euro New Zealand to go. I'm on the daily because on the 4-hour, you'll just see a single impulsive move that you cannot do anything about. There's no trade as yet there. It's a pulsing 5-way move to the upside. So we anticipate that after this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we anticipate at least a deeper pullback before continuation to the upside. EURCAD. Now EURCAD, we're anticipating this to complete these 3 waves here. So there's still a possibility for this to push slightly higher before the drop there. EURCHF, we've talked about EURCHF already. This has just been bearish. We've just spoken about it. AUD New Zealand. So now AUD New Zealand, let's have a look here. You'll see most of the AUD structures have got similar patterns in the last couple of days. So what we're seeing here is it looks like a 3-way move to the downside here. This is another 3-way move to the upside here. We've got that. So there's a possibility that we get another 3 waves that is similar to what we've got there. To get this as a WXY corrective structure, that would be a nice corrective structure there. Then we'll have this as a complete structure with a pulsing move down, up, back as a corrective structure, and a move back up here. So we want to see how this continues to the upside here. We're going to have this one as an A, B, C corrective structures. Right, so let's see how that plays out. We're not worried about the bigger, the long-term forecast here. We will want to see the next immediate move. If we see a pullback here, we can still sell out in New Zealand at least back to around this level, which is a structural level. Let's go through the rest of the crosses. AUDCAD just bearish. We're looking for this structure to be a bit deeper last week, but it was just shallow and continues to the downside. Still bearish AUDCAD. AUDCHF. What did we say about all the pairs that have got a CHF as the quoted currency? So this is another one that is AUDCHF, a strong pulsing move to the downside. This three-way pullback has been in play, and that is what we anticipate, what we've been working on here. So we've got a move here. Any pullback continuation to the downside. Still bearish there on AUDCHF. New Zealand CAD. Right, New Zealand CAD continuation to the downside as well. This is a continuation to the downside. Could this be just a three-way structure here? And we see that one end up there. Let's watch out for that one. Remember, New Zealand CAD last week, we showed how we focused it from here for downside and for this to pull back and downside. Let's see what happens in this structural level here. That is a structural level on New Zealand CAD. So for now, we still anticipate this to push lower. New Zealand CHF, same, another one with the CHF in it. All you anticipate here is three waves pullback and continuation to the downside. After it played out this corrective structure here, that's when we saw that that's going to be a bearish move. That's the move down here. We first played out this corrective structure. We're anticipating this push to the upside. We only got the three-wave move. So when we played the three-wave move, that's when we saw that that is going to make an even bigger corrective structure there. CADJPY, similar, again, another one with a CHF in it. Look at that. Three waves. Now we're anticipating another three waves to the downside. So any pullback here will just be an opportunity to ride onto the trend, similar to what we had here. Right, so that is CADJPY, and those are all the Forex pairs. Now let's have a look at the indices. The indices, we are currently in the deep corrective structures, which we anticipated a couple of weeks back. So they are in the making now. And as far as the S&P 500 is concerned, we've got a move to the downside. We are anticipating a three-way pullback for a continuation to the downside. This is not ready to continue to the upside yet. It does not look like they are. So we are going to be anticipating just a slight pullback across all of them. This is the Dow Jones Industrial. We are be anticipating that we get a pullback here on the Dow like that before the next move to the downside. Pretty much bearish across all the indices. The Nasdaq also a strong passive move to the downside. This is not just going to resume upside. We are going to see at least a pullback. The pullback that I'm showing here, guys, may not necessarily happen at current levels. This can still push slightly lower before we get the pullback. Okay, so that is the Nasdaq and the UK 100. UK 100, another one that is bearish. So we've got this one dropping here in three waves. We are pulling back in what looks like three waves as well. So we'll be anticipating these to make a continuation to the downside in another three waves as well. The DAX, so the DAX pretty much bearish. Single impulsive move to the downside. We're going to anticipate a three-wave pullback before continuation to the downside. Okay, bearish pretty much. And the Nikkei still has that interesting structure. Let's have a look at the interesting structure on the Nikkei. This one here on the 4-hour. So if you look here in the middle, you've got an expanding flat here on the Nikkei. We've got here a three-wave move to the downside here. Let's show the same color. Let's use a purple at least for visibility. And we're anticipating that the purple will be this as well. So what we're going to have here is a WXY corrective structure. So we're anticipating this to continue to the downside to complete that Y leg here for this to continue to the upside. Right, so that's what we have there on the Nikkei, looking for continuation to the upside. Lastly, on the Forex pairs and the indices, we are looking at the Nifty. So the Nifty does not look like it's going to reverse after the three waves that we anticipated here. Looks like we're just going to have a shallow move. This is going to continue to the downside. Still pretty much bearish on the Nifty. So that means we are going to have a deeper corrective structure. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not already done so. Also, give us a thumbs up if you like our content. Drop us a comment and also share the video so you can reach as many people as possible who may get assistance from this. Also hit the bell notification button so next time you get a notification when we upload another video. Have a great week, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.